Family, what's going on? Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome. Super excited to have everybody in the building on tonight, this evening. Happy Sunday, fun day to everybody. We're so excited to be on and popping for today. Our girl gonna be, as soon as she gets stationary, she's rolling and handling something real quick. She's gonna be back on with us, but we're so excited to be in the building on this afternoon. Happy Sunday to everybody. Y'all, what's popping? What's happening with y'all? How was your week? What's going on with everybody?
I'm tired, boss.
You tired? We just got on here 2 seconds ago. How you
I
tired
know.
already?
No, you said how was my week? I said I'm tired, boss.
Oh, okay. All right.
Mine was long as well.
All
Very
right.
tired.
But you
Yeah.
know what? It's been blessing. It's been a blessing. Picked up some
Y'all
additional
sound like
roles.
y'all sound like a bunch of elderly people that just
Congrats.
You welcome. Okay.
I mean, you asked.
I mean,
Hey, listen.
yeah.
you know what? Next time we have a show, I'm not asking y'all nothing. We just gonna click the button and just go for it because y'all.
Yeah, we're not doing that. No, you're gonna
Yeah,
have us.
I had my first old man injury this week.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
Oh.
because
What happened?
my little boy has a little bed on the floor,
Oh,
and
my.
I was putting him down, and the boy, the hamstring done locked up, dragging himself.
What are your joints locked up, dog? You can't get it unlocked.
I almost had to hit my life alert. Damn phone and can't get up. Man, it was rough.
Say you had an old man injury. I'm so done with you right
That
now.
is hilarious.
I had LeBron James
That
injury.
is funny to me. Like Jason always says, funny to me.
Funny
That
to
right
me,
there
funny to
is
me.
hilarious. He talking about an old man injury. I'm gonna need you to be old before you have an old man injury.
Yeah.
That
No non-contact injury. Yeah.
take the steps first.
Yeah.
So, anywho, as y'all can see, we got the elderly tribe of Israel over here today.
The three
What
wise
wise
men.
men.
Three wise men.
Yep, we said at the same time.
Three wise
Well,
men.
that's not biblical, but anyway, it just says wise men. I don't know where the three came from, but anyway,
You can count.
Three is rooted in the universe, Koffe. So even if it's
you know what? I'm done. I'm so
I
done.
told
Ain't
you. I'm gonna
nobody
leave.
asked you about no
Yeah,
rooted in no universe and vibing and all that kind of stuff. 963 vibrations and every. Listen, okay, fine, you win. So listen, y'all, we are in the saddle again, but this week we cranking up a little bit because the last few weeks we've been talking about all the stuff that's happening. Oh, and happy International Women's Month, because I don't want to be talked about and say I didn't say anything about Women's Month. I don't want nobody talking smack about me like that. So happy International Women's Month. I had to make sure I said that. I got a text just to say, hey, listen, make sure that you say this when everybody has to say it. It's Women's Month. You got to say it. But listen, y'all. So let me tell you, in the news, people are literally tripping out right now about their stocks. Apparently, it's been said that there's a strong probability that the stock market is going to crash under the Trump administration. And secondly, it seems that he's fired everybody from the IRS. So hold tight, your returns are coming. So somebody messaged me and was like, Koffe, you got to make sure you mention that everybody at the IRS got fired. So their returns will be to them eventually. Just let's say that eventually you'll get your returns back. So we got some hot vibes going on. Like seriously, y'all, I had a couple of people who literally, one of my dearest friends was like, man, have you seen what's going on with the stocks? And then I had another person to message me about it. It was like, Koffe, are y'all gonna talk about what's going on with the stock market and everything? And so needless to say, I will say this. I am a trader and we're not affected by it. So, the stock market, yeah. But historically though, y'all, on a serious note, it's always issues with the stock market. I'm just saying. Historically, it's always some kind of dramatic.
It's electronic. I mean, what you expect? It's volatile or can be volatile.
Yeah, very true. Very true. But it is what it is. We all got to have instruments to put our resources into to make it make babies. And, every now and then we have to just choose a different instrument to move those resources to so that we can make sure that we still making the babies that we want to make with our funds. So, we can rock on that and make sure that that manifests and get that. We'll talk about that on another show, though. We'll talk about that on that show. But right now, right now,
Right now.
ask y'all something. We waiting on my girl to get back in the saddle. If somebody can message her and see if she good now, because she was moving about. If somebody can message her in the group chat and see if she good now, so we can get her on. But what does love have to do with a relationship? Somebody literally sent me that question.
What does
And
love?
what does love have to do with a relationship? What does love really provide in a relationship? That I thought that was a good question. I'm gonna tell you the reason why I thought it was okay. So Debris will be on in just a second, y'all. So I'm gonna tell you why I thought it was a good question. I'm gonna tell you why. Because if you really think about relationships, right, and you really think about all the things that we have to do to sustain a relationship, we got to make sure we're good communicators. We got to make sure that we collaborate well. We got to make sure that we're able to negotiate and compromise. I hate to use the word compromise, but that's the word that comes to mind right now. Compromise and be able to do all the lovely things to keep our relationships fluid. But none of that stuff necessarily has to do with love. So what does love really have to do with a relationship? I need y'all to tell me.
Why you say none of it has to do with love?
Right.
Communication may not necessarily be driven by love. Think about it.
Communication driven by love.
Hey, the question was asked.
No. I'm trying to make sense of it.
Right.
I'm trying to make sense of it because like I said, I don't have an emotional response to it. I'm trying to understand the exact question. I feel like there's something else.
Restate it again.
Yeah, you see, all three of us the same way.
What does love have to do with a relationship?
What kind of a relationship do you have if there's not some form of love? I mean, even if you're in a business relationship, there is a love for business or the deal or something, right? The product. I mean, if you're in a personal relationship, there got to be some type of emotional connection there, whether it's on the business side or personal side. There's got to be something.
But does it have to be love, though?
There's different types of love. You love your kids. You love your spouse. You don't love your kids the same way you love your spouse. You don't love your mom the same way you love your kids,
Yeah.
I know y'all know that a lot of relationships are void of love. I know y'all know that, right?
And guess what? I view that as Koffe. That's an arrangement or some type of business transaction in a sense. Because, and I think this is just my personal opinion. A lot of people approach their relationships, and you've heard this a lot of times. It's more focused on what we can do, what we can build. But guess what? Can we sit and talk without all this other stuff in the picture? Because guess what? Money can leave you. Memories can't. Body, all this is gonna fade one day. What then? And I think a lot of people don't think past that until a lot of times I think what wakes them up is tragedy. It makes them value what they have then. But you should value that from the beginning. Yes, all the other stuff is important, but there has to be a form of respect with anything. And that's what just with men, a lot of times they'll take respect over love just to keep things together. But on the back end, this the conversations that they don't have, because if they have these type of conversations in the presence of their significant others, it comes with something else. So that's what happens. But love is important, because guess what? If there's no connection there, how's it gonna grow? Because I'm gonna even say this much: it's written that y'all are not supposed to love us, but respect us. But we're supposed to love you guys. But here's the thing, and I'll say this, and I even talk to my girlfriend about this all the time. You guys feed off us. Emotions are a part of you guys. Whereas with us, we're more logical. So guess what? If this man is feeding you, he's pouring all this goodness, this nurturing to you. Guess what? That woman shows. She glows. But guess what? If they're pouring the opposite of that, guess what? She's going to go in another way, and it's not going to be positive. Hence, that's why it's important that we love you guys. We have to. And I think that's why a lot of relationships are void of it, because a lot of times people be quiet and we don't want to have them hard conversations like we're supposed to get past it. Hard conversations build connection.
Very
But
true. Very true.
but let me see what you guys think about it. That was just my take on it.
I agree. I think
Yeah.
that can y'all hear me good?
Yeah.
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 I
Yep, I'm
think that
good.
love is the foundation, you know, because when you have a foundation that's grounded in love, the highest vibration of all, you're not going to do anything to compromise that foundation. And that looks like even having respect for your partner when it's hard because you love that person. Even communicating when it's hard to communicate. Like you said, Vincent, having those hard conversations, it's not easy, but you do it because you love this relationship y'all have built. You love the foundation and the legacy and everything that y'all are building together. So having the foundation of love and growing in that as y'all continue to grow and nurture and commune together, that just helps. That just helps not only create a bond that is unbreakable, but it also teaches others what love look like and feel like. Because it's something that you feel. It's something that you feel. You can tell with somebody when a couple is really grounded in love. It shows in every way. The way they speak to each other, the way that they care for each other, the way that they think of each other when you least think that they're in thought, so I think that love is very important in a relationship because it teaches you the foundation of everything.
And I also think a lot of us get lust and love confused with each other. You know, that original emotion that you just can't be without the person and everything else at all given times. Gotta call them every 5 minutes, all that other stuff. A lot of that is not love, dude. That is lust.
Mm.
That is that initial thing. Love is what you realize after you've been together for several years and you look over there and you kind of like, you still here?
Hey, Jay, you just said a good point. Most
Yeah.
people that are genuinely in love live longer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
Those who are not,
103 and I just barely got any grace, you know?
If we gonna put that out there, I'm gonna need you to give us where you got that information from, according
They
to
live longer.
wherever
hey
those stats
man,
came from.
Which stats? That you live longer?
This is it. Well, it's been
it's
said.
true.
Studies have shown that you live long from volunteering. Who knew? Up to 20 years longer.
Okay, guess
So
what?
have real
It's a
love and
love.
volunteer.
It's the
Right.
same thing.
It's the
Yeah.
same thing. It's a selfless
I
act.
mean, my background's in engineering. That just sounds like a good mathematical equation.
Yeah.
Real
It's,
love. I
it's
mean,
logic,
have
right?
real love, volunteer.
I think it's a chemical that you receive from both, right? So
Correct.
typically we're talking about oxytocin, we're talking about
And that
dopamine, we're talking
dopamine.
about all of those things that happen when you volunteer. And I think we talked about Koffe, you made a point earlier about the showcase of love in different levels, and I think that goes back to something Vincent and both Jason said. Like when you together a long time, that's really when the love kicks in, right? Right, because
Mm-hmm.
when it's fresh, you have a certain level of showcase. But to me, love is help without have to, right? Sometimes you may see a couple and they may not say a thing, but they love each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you may not understand what they've gone through, right? So love is that glue when times are hard, right? When someone's going through cancer and you are denying yourself just certain feelings, or you're denying yourself just different things, right? So even when we talk about monogamy, right, within itself, right, that probably is the most selfless act you can have, right? Because you're denying yourself for many people, human nature, right? Of just
Mhm.
looking at other people or talking to other people. So I agree with Dupree, like that is a foundation, right? So even when you go through those cycles of the showcase of love not being at its highest, you can still rest on that foundation knowing that you still have the person that you're locked in with.
Yeah.
So let me me ask y'all a question. That all this sound lovely and wonderful and all that kind of stuff. However, there is a lot of relationships that are devoid of love that they end up staying together long term. How do you explain those?
And in what aspect are they devoid of love? I mean, what are we talking about? I mean, yeah, you may not be some of those older relationships or whatever, or some of those relationships you're referring to. I don't want to say they're even older. I mean, they may not seemingly be as caring and everything else, but I mean, what is your definition of love in that particular instance? I mean,
so you're saying that it's impossible to be in a long-term relationship without love? Is that what you're saying?
Any kind of happy one. I mean, here's the deal. I mean, we see a lot of people who are in long-term relationships. We also see a lot of people who never spend any type of time together. They ain't never at the house. They ain't never this. They ain't never that. I mean, you could call a relationship a relationship. I mean, your job is a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Some of us like what we do. Some of us do not. You still show up for that relationship. I mean, you can equate anything that you're doing in your personal life to what you're doing in your, when I say your personal, of course, with another companion or whatever, to what you do at your job and stuff. Not all of us love our job. You know what I'm saying? We know people that do that, and they show up every day, Monday morning. You know what I'm saying? First thing Monday morning, 8:00, they ready to go. They're going to still smile and everything else. I mean, that question can go to them too. Why do you keep showing up to that job?
Because you know why? And Koffe, you just made a good point. Why they together? Because somebody loves the other one more than they do.
That's very true.
It's love there. It's no way
Comfort.
possible two people can be together and somebody don't love the other. Somebody, and that's in any relationship. One person is gonna love more than the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why they stay together. But here's the thing.
Comfort.
That's draining.
So let me ask you this question. It's been said from all kind of different relationship sources that whoever loves the most is in the most vulnerable and dangerous state in that relationship. And that it's imperative that if a guy is going to stay, he's going to be monogamous, going back to what Landon mentioned, that he's going to have to love her more than she loves him. How true is that?
You're saying that.
Let me make sure I heard you right.
Yeah, say that last part again.
Say it again.
So basically, it's been said by several, relationships, like different relationship sources over the years, that whoever loves the most is the most vulnerable and in the riskiest position in the relationship. Basically, they're at the highest risk level, like the risk of harm, if you will, right? So based on that information, if a guy is with a lady, it's been said that if he loves her more than she loves him, that he will remain monogamous in that relationship. How true is that? Or is that true?
I don't see what difference that got to do in anything in terms of if he loves her more than anything else. And the reason I say that is because we know that men have always been more from a physical standpoint, and women genuinely are more on the emotional standpoint. I think if this is just my personal feelings, if a man is in love with her more than she is with him, because of men being usually less emotional, I think psychologically and everything, he's at a disadvantage. I think a woman who loves a man more than a man may love her, I don't necessarily see that as much of a disadvantage, because really and truly, when y'all are in y'all feminine energy, y'all actually soften us up a lot. And most men, when they see that they are hurting this lady that actually truly loves them, will start to make changes just genuinely, you know what I'm saying, to not hurt her as much, to show that he does care, where that's not necessarily reciprocated the other way, from what I've noticed over the years and seen over the years.
So regardless of who loves whom more, that doesn't play a factor in the monogamy aspect.
A cheater's gonna cheat, dude. I mean, some people, no matter how much they love anybody, I mean, if not everybody, but some people are only as faithful as their options.
Which means What? Just because the love.
That baby
Me,
said as faithful as they options. That was a
Yeah.
man. That was a
I'ma
whole
say-
pimp statement.
I'm
Damn.
gonna say this: real love is shown when that significant other is not there.
Right.
That's why the respect kicks in. You could put on a show and show everybody your representative when they're there. Guess what?
Mhm.
Let's see when they're not there. Let's see when they get upset with you. Let's see where you. Let's see how much you gonna stand on principle then. And a lot of people, they put on a good show until that mate comes in or something comes out. That's how you know real love happens when this person. That the ultimate love, I think, is the respect level they have for you not to go outside your relationship.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
When hard times come,
Mhm.
I'm gonna share some with you guys and share some with you guys out there.
Oh Lord, you sound like you about to
Yeah,
get
no,
real
no.
deep on
Oh
us.
yeah, I
Lord.
I got a
Sometimes you
good
need a good example. Whatever.
I
you
got a
know.
good example of what love felt like and looked like from seeing my grandparents. My grandmother contracted breast cancer. She had a mastectomy and they didn't catch it in time and it contracted to her leg, so she had her leg amputated. I watched my grandfather for 5 years go from his home in Marshall, because they're from East Texas, to Tyler every day. Every
That's
day.
love.
Like clockwork. He would run, he'd get up in the morning because he was in the Navy. Get up in the morning, do his his normal, go down there with her, make sure she's good, stay there with her till noon, come back, check on the house, go see his friends, and go right back up there every day for 5 years.
Oh,
Before he passed away, I say, Grandpa, he said, you miss grandma? He said, I miss her every day. Because for 5 years, I was on a set schedule. If you want to know what love is, it's respect and it's consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and there it is.
And that's another reason why Koffe women change up and get and flip out on men because they how you started, you change it up. You need to stay that way.
Yes.
But that works both ways though. That works both ways.
Yeah.
Women happen to be. I hate to break code right now.
See, that's the problem. That's no. There it is, right there. That's the
Come on,
problem.
just
See,
say
you
it.
sitting here trying to stick to girl code and everything because you don't want to sit here and go against the sorority or whatever else.
We
But no,
healing the
what you
people
need to do
tonight.
is be accountable for the crap that y'all do. See, I didn't even curse that time. Y'all always ask us to be
Thumbs up,
accountable for
Jay.
what it is we doing.
Thumbs
Y'all
up,
got to
Jay.
be accountable as well.
Mhm.
What I
Let the
was
Lord
gonna
use you.
say-
Break code.
Yeah, we healing the people tonight. Go
Depria,
ahead.
you wanna hop
Break
in,
code.
Depria?
Break code.
I'm letting Depria hop. Go ahead, hop in, Depria.
No. Say what you was gonna say. No. This ain't the hokey pokey. You don't put your right foot in and pull it back out. Come on.
Listen.
We standing on principles, Koffe. Yeah. You see Dupria smiling because she ain't gonna get in it.
Yeah, come on and get in here.
I guarantee you, Depria is gonna say the same thing I was gonna say.
Okay, but we want to hear from you, Koffe.
Well, I'm gonna be looking at the Prius facial expressions when you say your part. Come on. Yeah. She's trying. Stop trying to hold that internal conversation. Come on.
What I was gonna say is women have a tendency to remove themselves and be present. They'll still perform the same exact acts as though nothing is wrong, although internally they got a huge problem with what's going on with you. We really literally will be performance based. It's almost like seeing an actress.
Yeah.
Total performance based, but all the while totally disengaged from that relationship. Because like you said, Vincent, when it starts out and everything is like this, that, and the third, when it starts to retract, especially if that woman is in a position of comfort, consistent comfort, a whole lot of times she'll just perform, but she'll be totally disengaged and totally emotionally detached. She would just a lot of times, by the time a guy catches up to it, it's way too late.
For one, I thought you said you was gonna break girl code. Most of us already knew that. Trust me, when we know, we know it. Well, a lot of times we know it, we just don't always care.
When I said by the time you find out, it's way too late, meaning that in most instances, either she is on with somebody else's son,
Mm-hmm.
or she's filed and literally that marriage already dissolved before he even
Mm-hmm.
caught wind of it, basically.
Okay. Well,
No,
I'm gonna
he
break.
caught wind. He just didn't care as much until she walked out the door that he probably realized that he actually cared more than he thought he did.
Or he did not recognize because of that word consistency. That word
Well, yeah.
consistency can be a double-edged sword because if that person is still performance based, then a man can literally miss it because she was performance
Mm-hmm.
based. I'm telling you what I know, not what I heard.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna
And
break.
he's performing
Yaakov.
elsewhere if he ain't paying attention.
I'm gonna break Yaakov.
It
Now
ain't
I'm gonna say
uncommon
this.
though. It's not
Now,
uncommon.
Coffee. I'm gonna say this.
Ah!
And Landon can agree with this, and so can Jason.
Hold on. I want the Dupree to hop in first.
Okay.
I still
Okay, come on.
wanted to hear her to piggyback off what I was saying before y'all, the gentlemen's club pops in, the three wise men. Go ahead, Dupree.
Mhm.
Okay. I agree with you. I'm a different kind of woman. If something is not right, I speak up. I'm one of those, I'm very
Yeah.
vocal. I let you know what it is and what it's not because I can't be fake with you. If something is not the way it should be or it was before, I'm going to communicate. And if you don't hear me when I communicate, especially if it's effective communication, if you don't hear me, I'm going to let you know this is how we're going to move forward. I'm not going to be able to exist in something that isn't fulfilling me. So I can't even perform. I can't be an actress because Depria wear her emotions on her sleeve. And when I love someone, if I'm grounded in love, I can't change that. I can't just turn it off. So if my performance is backed and grounded in love, I can't perform because I don't feel it. I don't feel like you care that I'm being heard or taken care of. So I'm gonna let you know and communicate. Yeah, I can perform without me feeling like we're grounded in love, like we're connected. But a lot of women do stay in situations because they're comfortable and because the man is providing and they're taken care of financially. I don't necessarily agree with it because I feel like that's when that using come in. That's when you're using a person just because you want to stay secure but not
Mm-hmm.
balanced with this person anymore.
And you know she's telling the truth because she was speaking in third person.
Correct. It wasn't first person.
Yeah, because the Freya don't play. And the
Yeah.
Freya ain't gonna do
You
this.
know
So you
somebody
know she
dead when
telling
they
the
get
Depria
to
truth.
is
paraphrase.
You
not.
speak your
And
truth, girl.
Depria is now. I just want y'all to know as a host, this is not my behavior. I just want to make that clear because I know somebody out there in TV land is thinking to themselves, "Well, dang, Coffee, really? That's how you act?" I never once.
Flag on the play, illegal
Right.
motion.
That's it. That's my behavior. I am the host of the show, which means I am going to sit in the seat of controversy. That's all I want
Good.
you to do,
Let's
period.
be controversial.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm
So I
Landon got something to say. I can tell by his expression
yeah,
because he
I
got on
do
his
have a
old
question.
deacon outfit today. Go ahead, Deacon. Go ahead.
Yeah. You know, my full gospel Baptist outfit. Let me ask a question. And this stemmed from both Dupria, something you said, and then Coffee, you said something earlier. So Coffee, you said a lot of people stay in relationships long without love, and then Dupria, you said you can't fake it, and then you talked about things being rather transactional. At what point is it okay for it to be transactional if both basically consent? The woman's being taken care of, and the young lady is performing her duties, as you say, how she's performing. Is
Well,
that
I
bad?
mean, if the transaction is consensual, then it's not no problem. I mean, if it's to where both of the people appear to be satisfied with that decision, then there is no issue. It is no issue. But it becomes an issue when dig this. One thing that happens a lot that most people don't realize is there's somebody else in the wind somewhere a lot of times in all of our lives, whether we want to admit it or not. Now, we don't have to necessarily connect to that person, but that probability is there, which means that that person shows a form of interest that is an interest that could cause chaos in another life, or depending on where the person is emotionally, psychologically, fiscally, all those kind of things. Because you got to remember, we're all attracted to more than one person. Let's just call a spade a spade. There's no such thing as you just attracted to this one person. That's not even realistic, and it's not true. So that's where these office wives and all this kind of stuff, office husbands and all this kind of stuff come in, and they end up being bonded to that person. So a lot of times, if it's something transactional and it's working right now, it's not until that person realizes that there's something else that's missing that they subsequently, a lot of times, are receiving from somebody else, that it becomes a problem at their address.
And can I chime in for a little bit, Koffe, on something you
Because
said?
transactional can only be transactional for so long. Because transactional only is going to last for so long. Because as we all realize, if we're transactional, some things are going to happen. Like, y'all mentioned sickness. You mentioned that earlier. Or if that person has some kind of fiscal challenge where they cannot transactionally perform those things that they were transactionally performing previously, then it's got to be some other type of glue that's binding them together. Otherwise, somebody's going to make an exit, period.
Vincent, before you chime in, let me piggyback or give some feedback to what for me, like I was saying about the performing and everything, no matter what you're doing in life, everything is transactional. It's who are you going to be grounded with in love that it don't feel like a transaction. So with me saying fake or I can't pretend or I can't perform, if the foundation is rocky, if I don't feel the connection, if we're not emotionally connected and grounded, I can't perform. It has nothing to do with me not being able to hold up my end, because I am, but it's more so of the fact that this is not what we're supposed to be in. We're supposed to be grounded, love and growth, and nurturing each other needs beyond just the physical or the duties, because they duties. We all have our own duties, right? So that's what I mean. I can overperform, but who wants to do that when you're not grounded?
I agree.
So what happens when the pendulum of relationship happens? Do we say that, I'm not getting my need fulfilled, therefore I don't perform, but our pendulum has swung? Because if you think about it, all relationships have different facets to them. Different facets. They're gonna be some facets where you don't feel, quote unquote, love. That doesn't mean that it's absent or void. Does that mean that we don't perform?
It depends on the individual, I guess. I mean, because really and truly, if I don't feel respected, I mean, I ain't gonna perform the best.
The question was for Depria.
I'm sorry, excuse me. I'm listening.
It depends on what your need is. It don't take a lot for me. It don't take a lot for me. As long as our foundation is there, it don't have to always, love don't look like you being in my face all day, because that's not what love is for me. That's not a love language for me. That's not something that I have to have. But when it comes to you being the man that's grounded in your morals, your values, those things are still there. You're still consistent with those things. I can perform. I don't have a problem with it. But once those things start to check out and you start switching things up, and it's like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Financially, things change. I'm okay with that. That's no problem, because we can always make the money back. But what you can't get back is the foundation, the things you build off of. So that's where I check out, and I'm like, yeah, no, something ain't right. We not connected, and we're not building based off of what we truly value most. You know what I mean?
That makes sense. Jason? I listen, Jason. I was.
No, come on, spit. What's up?
I apologize. I don't want you to feel like I don't.
I don't. No, we're good. No, we're good. I didn't realize the question was just to her, so I'm sitting here listening. I got a short attention span, so I was sitting here listening. And then, what I'm saying, and then when you said that, Depria actually said something that, so, a lot of people think that men could just go jump into bed with everybody, but that's not all men. I mean, there still has to be some kind of connection as well. So I agree with you, Depria, because it's like if that connection starts getting skewed, or there's a lack of respect, felt, or whatever else, I might still need to get needs met or whatever else, but I just can't perform. And I mean, yeah, when it first starts happening, it's not very hard because you're just kind of like, okay, I'm just having a bad day or whatever else. But if you've been in there for a while or you've been around this person for a while and everything else, at some point, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter as much anymore. Like I said, it's hard to perform that, it's hard to even be transactional at times.
Yeah.
Oh, so speaking of that, we're gonna go back to you on that one, Landon. So what affects the transactions then?
In what way? You meaning?
In the we like you basically in the vein that we're in right now, the performances and where it needs to be, but the expectation for the transaction still is present.
It happens a lot. It happens a lot. And an example, Vincent, like how your grandfather was able to still, like we talked about before, stand on business. I mean, we see a lot of people, and I even know people personally who have gone through like cancer battles where the spouse just literally left them at the doorstep of a hospital. Like couldn't do it. Right.
Yeah.
I've seen where in many cases where the woman even may be pregnant and it happens, or a man loses his job, right? So when we talk about this whole conversation and love being the foundation, and Duper, I love you saying you grounded and rooted in love, like it is that glue. That's what you fall back on, because if nothing else, then everything is transactional. That's it. Or it's codependency, which is why you see a lot of relationships.
And you
right?
that's a
Yeah, because
terrible
some people can just stay because of comfort, and you're just codependent on the other person. You may be codependent because this woman does respect you, and you get respect nowhere else, right? So you codependent on that. Or, she may be codependent because, the way that she was raised and she grew up poor, right? Now she has this luxury lifestyle, right? So there's codependency. And then you get outside of that. And we're not even going to talk about social media.
Let's not even bring the social
unrealistic expectations.
When I tell you, social media has literally caused some crazy stuff. Matter of fact, I don't know if you remember this or not, Jason. We had a show. It was some years ago, and somebody who was married in the thick of their marriage, was good and everything else. Their old person showed up and pursued them, not just DM them. They pursued them to the point where they were showing up at their place of work. And the only reason why they knew it is because that person posts so much of their personal life that this person ended up getting a ground footing in their life because of that. And of course, the other spouse, unbeknownst to them, they thinking like, oh, you just got this. I mean, what's really going on? When it really wasn't that person's fault. But because of how social media is and the challenges that come along with that social media, they ended up, I don't even know if they stayed together after that, because it ended up being a bloodbath, because that girl was persistently pursuing this guy. Like she was serious about, reconnecting to him and yada, yada, yada. She was like, it's not over between us and yada, yada, yada. And my thing about him was, why are you posting so much information that somebody can literally come to where you work? They know exactly where you are all the time because you always checking in. I'm like, dude, you gave the girl the fuel. You pretty much gave her the match, and you gave her the doggone lighter fluid, and you said, go ahead and burn it.
And gave it a location to set it.
And
Yeah.
So how you gonna really explain that? Like really, how can you really explain it? Like, babe, I don't know how she found out I was here. Well, how she always find out where you at anyway? How she know?
For one, you got to be crazy to put that much of your life on social media anyway. I mean, here's the deal. How empty are you to put everything in your life on social media to where you think that these likes and little clicks actually mean something? People are nosy. They're always going to be nosy. I got people I know for a fact probably hate my darn guts, but they ain't going to unfriend me. They not going nowhere.
And and we all know we got those people. We got our stalkers who actually they love everything we doing. They be in the store. They in the story church.
Yeah.
And they stay because a lot of people don't realize you can see everybody that saw your freaking story. So every time you turn around, they in your story, they see everything that you do. but literally won't say one word and won't unfriend you and really don't want nothing to do with you. They just want to see what you're doing, like what you said.
Yeah.
But
You know,
Facts.
before we switch it up a little bit, I want to say, you know, a lot of people are tested when it comes to their relationship in the internet, and from experience, I've learned to keep what's sacred to me private, because people on the internet, just like the ones that don't like you but will watch you until they don't have anything else to do but watch you, it's so important to value and protect your relationship, because these people are so ruthless. Like, they will literally go follow your person just to stalk them and then inbox them and tell them all types of crazy things. So I
And it
learned,
don't have to be true. Yeah.
right,
just trolling you because they don't want you
right.
to be happy, because they not happy, they miserable. And those tests, when it comes to outside people, is so important for you to not allow external things to come in between the bond and the love and the foundation that you are building with your person.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes with a mature, with a very strong state of maturity and a strong sense of self-confidence and knowing who you are when it comes to yourself, not even relationally, but as an individual, knowing who you are, having that level of self-confidence to be like, I'm not, I mean, and not arrogance. Let me make sure I say this so y'all so we're crystal clear, because nobody owns anybody, and nobody has a monopoly on relationship. One, nobody has monopoly. Anybody can walk away. The person that we think may stay forever, they could literally get up and go tomorrow. However, of course, we don't want that to happen, of course. However, we can never be so arrogant in our confidence, let our confidence turn to arrogance to where we become pious, like with this person. Oh, they ain't going nowhere. Oh, I'm good. They ain't going nowhere. I'm this person. I'm this person. No, 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 no. It's always got to be work done. It's always got to be a partnership. It always has to be where you're building upon that foundation. It's like any house. I don't care if you buy a house and you build it from the ground up, it doesn't even matter, because at some point that thing gonna need some maintenance, period.
She being quiet like she asked the question. What you want to know,
Well,
Koffe?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna chime in on something, Koffe, you said. A lot of
How you
times, like,
know? I was brewing something in my brain over here, Jason.
Yeah,
How you
you
know?
had to
I'm only
look.
knowing
you're
you
not
from
Your brain
Brian.
quiet.
go
Don't
You
tell
got
us
to
down.
what he
look.
is. Come on, man.
When
I
coffee
know
head
you.
go down, that's what
Yeah.
she thinking.
She pondering. It's cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
So let
What
me
you about to
ask,
say,
let me,
B?
let me ask y'all. Let me ask y'all a question.
There
Let
we
me ask
go.
y'all a question. When it comes to relationship maintenance, how do you know
Relationship maintenance.
what things, signs, what signs are showing you that it's time to do some maintenance? What's some signs, Landon?
When the pattern changes. So, I know if my wife does not talk as much, we're gonna have to, we have regular schedules, oil changes, right? They regularly schedule.
Oil changes, all right.
Yeah.
Come
Got
on,
to change
wait a
oil.
minute now, wait a minute now. The tire's
But
been
now
rotated and
but now,
everything.
amen. But now sometimes the spark plug goes out, and it just don't rev up like it used to. So once
There
I
you go.
see it get quiet, that's when you have to pay attention. But for us, it's all about looking at patterns, right? When a pattern is off, right? There are some times when you just have a change in behavior, right? But when the pattern itself is off, that's when it's time for us. Now, everybody's different. Now, you definitely have to be locked in and tuned in and tapped into your person to understand and know those patterns. But, when you start seeing some stuff being off for a long period of time, it's time to check the car out.
Jason, look like you want to say something you want to say.
I don't have nothing to say. I agree. I mean, everything is patterns, and here's the deal. That to me, that goes on both sides. You know what I'm saying? Everybody said, "Oh, well, you should have seen the pattern in her." What about the pattern in him?
Mm.
And the reason I say that, because you see on some of these other shows where they brought up something, and to me, I think it resonates, because we always talk about that women intuition, right? But why does this always seem to talk to you when allegedly we cheating and have already stepped out, but it don't tell you when we unhappy?
Oh my.
Right. Come on.
Ooh.
You
So
know
like I
what?
said, it goes both ways, and them patterns, you got to pay attention to them. That's all I'm saying.
Mhm.
I'm not taking a shot at women, but I'm just saying. But if
Nah,
you one of those women that be
I like
like, you know, you always cheating on me, well, chances are you didn't realize that you was already pissing them off, and you know, so yeah, so that
There
Go
you
led
ahead,
up
go.
to it,
Dupree,
right?
and then I like it. Go ahead, Dupree, and then I know Vincent want to hop in.
Mm.
Piggyback off of London, that maintenance, checking in, having regular conversation of where we are is important to communicate, and also comprehend and understand where we are in our relationship is important. Not just to have maintenance when stuff is going wrong or you see a pattern change, but how can we nurture our relationship so we stay grounded, so we don't have a pattern change. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, I'll say for me to be the way that I am, because I don't need a lot for me to be secure and grounded in the relationship. So if I am very short, or I just need some space because I love my bubble, I'm very much so a person who loves to remain her own individual in the relationship. I don't need a lot of clinginess. I don't need a lot of attention. We could be in the same house, the same room, and I'm still great. But if I change a little bit, I'm gonna talk about it. Yeah, come on, this is what I need from you, sir. I need you to be in my skin just a little bit. So I understand the pattern change, but I also understand, like, it's important to stay grounded in each other to where we don't have the pattern change. We don't have a spark plug go out. We need that regular routine of getting the car checked out.
There you
Mm-hmm.
Right.
go.
That seeing that warning light come on, that the light coming on. The light is coming on. Jason said it. You said it best, and I like the way you said that, because a lot of people have a tendency to put it on one gender or the other when it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with human behavior. Period.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't have anything to do with gender. It has to do with human behavior. And when
Right.
somebody is being neglected in any way, shape, or form, they're going to show you somehow, some way that they're being neglected. They're gonna show you. It's going to be evident in some. They're gonna act out in some way. It doesn't have to be extreme acting out either, but there's gonna be something that you will be able to pick up on before, like, you find yourself on the side, the highway of relationship, on the side of the road, on relationship lane in your Bentley, talking about some. I didn't realize I had you driving a Bentley. You know good and well. You got to, you know good and ham and cheese well what the deal is. You rolling in a Bentley. This ain't no regular car. This ain't a Honda. This is a Bentley.
Mm-hmm.
You know better. You knew that when you purchased this vehicle. You knew it when you got the vehicle. You knew what the maintenance was
Mm-hmm.
going to be like. And then another thing too is to look at maintenance in that part before you say I do. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of the clues to what this person is going to require are going to be in that dating phase. Although we need
Mm-hmm.
to see a person in the winter, spring, summer, and fall relationally before we cross over into a permanent relationship. But we got to be able to know we got to know what's going on with that person, be so keen into it that we can see things even sometime before they even recognize it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's almost like when you around some. That's why it's so important to build that foundation, the love of a friend. You got eros, what is it, agape, and filial love. But that eros love, that filial, those different types of love, you got to have all those types of love inside of your relationship, because you got to have a consciousness of a higher power that sustains humanity. You got to have that consciousness. Now, some people say you don't, but I believe in a relationship, you got to have that consciousness. How you express it is different for every humanoid, but there has to be
Mm-hmm.
a consciousness there in order for you to be able to deal with the adversity of human relationship, because the human relationship comes with chaos, and there's no way around it. It's no way to not it has to happen. It's a part of the human experience. And then you have, like Dupree was talking about, the outside. which you have to be real wise in how you address the outside influences, because technically anything outside of you and I, regardless of who it is, regardless of what role they play in our lives, no matter what it is, anybody outside of you and me is an outside influence. Y'all don't know what's going on with the internet right now. But I don't care if it's your mom, your dad, your whoever it is, because we all know that one person that can push us to action, make us move to action. I don't care how we try to play it out. Because see, think about it. You got some guys that are very, very connected to their tied to their dads. And those can be some very, very strong influences in decision making. So we got to be meticulous in how we run our relationships for sure. But go ahead, Vincent. I know you wanted to chime in.
Everything that you're speaking about, Koffe, is emotional and relationship intelligence. Because if you're, and it's just my opinion, when you're spending time, the right kind of time, getting to know this person, like Dupree said, you're building a foundation. And I think a lot of times where those issues come is not being receptive to what's going on with your partner. And that's where a lot of those issues come. A lot of people, oh, she'll be okay or he'll be okay. Guess what? How many times is that particular phrase going to actually work before something happens? That's why a lot of times, well, they checked out. And I'm going to say this, and the fellas can agree with me. A lot of times men pay attention more to y'all. They just don't say nothing because it will come with an issue. They don't say nothing.
There you go.
Or a key word, they suffer in silence.
Yeah.
They won't say anything. And then when they bring something out, well, you never said that. I never said it because I knew what would come with it.
And he may have said it and you just didn't listen.
Didn't pay attention. That's why I say it goes both sides, like Jason say. It can't be no one-sided thing where, well, this woman checked out long before this. That man may have said something or tried to fix it. That person, by choice, may have wanted to check out. So you can't say that they don't try. And they go for some men. They don't pay attention when some women talk to them. They talk over them. They don't listen. And I'm sorry, if you really respect your spouse, you will listen. You'll listen to what they have to say. And sometimes it's hard, but you listen to it so you can hear and give them what they need. That's what love is. Listening when it's not comfortable, listening when it doesn't feel good. But once that conversation happens, let's see what your action is afterwards. Let's see what we do that. And then building that partner up after you say, man, I see you trying, babe. Hey, man, I love you for this. That's where the build comes up. I say this all the time. When a woman is in her femininity, a man will go through a brick wall for you. He won't ask no questions. He will not play when they come with you. Easily. It ain't going to be no talking. It's going to be straight action every time. But that's when you are in your, when a woman is in her feminine, energy. But that's just my take.
You spoke a word. Come through. Vincent spoke a word. A lot of words.
And men have to respect a woman's feminine energy, and women have to respect masculine energy. True masculine energy. Not control, but true masculine energy. And that's where it goes a give and take, man. A lot of people I'm the big man. Sometimes you don't have to be in control of everything.
Facts.
Sometimes let your spouse let the woman do her thing, babe. Hey,
exactly. Please
I'm
do
pump
it.
You up. I'm gonna be.
And that's leadership.
Yeah,
that's leadership. Knowing when you can delegate certain things that you're not the best at doing.
And guess what? Under delegation shows respect, which is another form of love.
Yep.
Yeah. And literally digressing when you say, you know what, I know this is not my lane. I am not a good steward in this area. I need to make sure that we're able to flow in this particular area in our relationship, and I'm not doing a good job of it. So I digress, babe. Please take the wheel in this area. I'm wise enough to know that this is not working for us the way that I've been doing it. And I do not want to push us into a situation that we cannot recover from. So I just, relinquish my rights to be in control. I'm done. You got it, babe. I give it to you. I don't like to give it to you because I feel uncomfortable. However, I know that this part is not working for us in the best interest of our household. And look, please take it. And if I try to take it back, just remind me subtly of what has happened.
That's when I remind you need a good case of sit your tail back down. I got this.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, yeah. There you go. But you know what? And that comes with, and it's gotta be an area of your relationship where there's that ability to receive that correction without it being taken personal. This is for the better interest of our families. This is for the better interest of our legacy, the businesses that we built, the brands that we built. All this getting emotional about it. Please grow up today. I don't know why you've been emotionally attached to it. It doesn't even make sense to be emotionally attached to it, because you know that what I'm doing is for the best interest of us. So what's the emotion behind it? Why?
Hey, like I like to tell people, if I was perfect, my name would be Jesus, not Jason.
Even though you got that Jesus here.
So I don't expect to be perfect. I just expect to get better as I continue to live, this wonderful life or whatever. I don't always strive for perfection. I strive to get better. I strive for respect. I strive to grow in the right areas. You know what I'm saying? And I try to bring that to the relationship as well. But again, everybody got to hold their own. You know what I mean? Because truly, if one person is, doing everything from one aspect or another, then at some point they're going to feel used. At some point, it is going to get lopsided. So yeah, there's certain things I don't do the best. If she wants to step up and do it, like you said, I will get out the way. Tell me to move, please. I will go to the man cave. Yes, you got it. I am out of your way.
Yeah.
But on the parts where you ain't the best and I'm handling business, get out the way, please.
And be good with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
We all got to be good. We all got to be good with the parts that, the roles that we play and the responsibility. So to answer the question, my person that inboxed me, what does love have to do with a relationship? The panel has spoken. Obviously, everything. Everything. Does there have to be love in a relationship? Absolutely. Does love have to be a major factor? Absolutely. Is it going to be something that will sustain us over time? Absolutely. Coupled with everything else, we talked about it, the commitment, the contentment, the communication. There's factors where love is actually displayed. Love is on display, which is necessary for a relationship to thrive, because I cannot tell you I love you and I don't display it to you for you to see it in real time and to experience it according to what your need is. Not what I think the need is, but what your need is. And it's been established that this is exactly what you need. I cannot go by my opinion on what I think you need. I have to go by what you tell me that it is that you need. So with that being said, it's been another fantastic show. The panel they done spoke, y'all, period. And as always, thank you to our amazing panelists for being on with us on this evening. And we're so excited to have you guys present with us. We cannot do this without you. And we definitely cannot do it without our viewing audience. So we'll see you guys on another edition of the P. Koffe Brown Show. And until next time, grace and peace. And we'll see you guys again on another edition of the show. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Peace.
Super good. Very, very good.
Nothing that needed to be added to the coffee. It has a natural flavor to it, very authentic.
Coffee's done.
This coffee is second to none.
Not too sweet, not too milky, proper balance.
It wasn't strong. It was enjoyable. You can taste that the flavors are light, so it wasn't overwhelming whatsoever, and it's something I can look forward to partaking in.
Well, that's so smooth. For those of you who don't like coffee, you'll reconsider when you taste this flavor.
It's delicious.
It's a great taste. It's amazing, and I think I'm going to be a coffee drinker.
Hot chocolate drinkers are gonna love this.
It's smooth, it's delicious.
I like it.
Nothing too overwhelming, I think, but that's smooth and nice.
I like it. I do.
Nice. Smooth.
It's good. It's good.
It's good. Yeah. That's pretty tasty.
Yeah, still thinking about the coffee. It was amazing. I'm a new coffee drinker.
It's smooth, it's creamy.
That's good. That.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh yeah, this definitely would be my go-to.
And it's healthy.
I like it.
Oh. This tastes good. What kind of coffee is this?
I want to try it.
This is the best instant coffee I've ever had in my life.
It's luxurious on the tongue.
Really good.
This is fantastic.
It's very good.
I'm impressed.
It's sweet and strong, like at the same time. Like it's really good. I'm really impressed.
This is good.
Yeah, that's it. It's light. It's delicious. It's so good. Like it feels good.
The taste is very unique.
Everything is just right here.
Oh, this is good.
It's crazy.
But it's not bad.
It's still
It's really good. I like it.
I like it.
Wow.
Wow.
Whoa. Wow.